The Final Destination series, for me at least, hit some of its greatest strides with the third film, Final Destination 3. At this point, I mean, the formula is pretty much down to a T. You know from the title alone, walking into the movie, that, okay, there's going to be a huge disaster at the beginning, someone's going to have a premonition. They're going to avoid death, but death is going to come back later for the survivors to even the score. And with this one, I mean, we don't really have to explain it. We know it. And it allows it to have a little bit more fun with itself without having to overplot it or anything like that. So it definitely embraces, for better or worse, I mean, possibly you could argue it was inevitable going into it as a series. It really embraced kind of the campier side of things. We have Mary Elizabeth Winstead in the lead role, swing, so it has that going for it too. And with the first two movies, I mean, we have, with the opening disasters that we see that become kind of the staple of these films, I mean, those are pretty much gimmies. I mean, of course, plane crash, car crash, well, great, what else? So it kind of forces the writers, not so much in a plotting sense, but in that, how much destruction are we going to cause sense of, forces them to being more creative in that way. So here, I think it's a great idea. A roller coaster accident. How great is that? I mean, you know, ever buckling yourself into one of those, you kind of think, oh my God, what if something goes horribly wrong, and things like that. And there's a lot of great and fun deaths to the movie, where I think that's where the creative focus goes, and rightly so to a certain extent. So we have not just the roller coaster death, but we almost have like a 2-for-1. In the opening scene, we have the roller coaster disaster, but in kind of a weird symmetry, we also have at the very end of the film a subway disaster. So kind of a 2-for-1 there. That's great, and probably one of the highlights of the movie, of course. And working in a little bit of gratuitous nudity is a tanning bed disaster, which befalls the survivors of the first incident, and a very funny scene at the gym. That might be my favorite part of the movie. I mean, like, spoilers going into this, by the way, but you have the one character who's like, he's the athletic guy, he's the cocky guy. He's like, yeah, so what, we cheated death. Fuck death! And like throughout the whole thing, we see like little hints of things that might happen. Like there's these swords above him. Are they going to fall down and kill him? Well, they fall down, but they don't kill him. He's like, ah ha ha! See, death can't get me. And he does another rep on the weight machine. The wire breaks. The two weights come crashing into his head. And one of the brilliant things about that, and where you really get a sense of the film's humor, is that the musical cue, it goes right after that scene. It goes, na 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 na. So it's like death taunting these people. So this movie gets it, and I like that, and I do like the humor of the film. And again, they kind of keep the plotting to a bare minimum, which I think is fair enough. Like much like with the first movie, where we have something tangible in figuring out what to do next. Like with the first film, the Devon Sawa character, he gets a hold of the pattern of the explosion that wreaked its havoc throughout the plane, and the seating arrangement where, okay, this person's going to die next, this person's going to die next. With the Mary Elizabeth Winstead character, before the tragedy on the roller coaster, she was taking pictures of her digital camera, so she knows the order from that, and she has a hint of how they're going to die through little things in the picture. So there's interesting stuff like that. So I mean, that's pretty much all we need. It's really just a matter of how do we kill these kids, and of course these kids cannot escape death. So why even kid themselves? They don't really try to connect it to the first movie in the way that the second movie did, which kind of lessened it a little bit by, you know, making them all have a connection. Here it's just a completely isolated thing, except there's like a throwaway line of dialogue like, yeah, I just went on the internet and I found out about this plane crash, and that's pretty much it. So I mean, that's fine. So I mean, that's really all you need, and I think it does a good job of getting down to the nitty gritty. And you know, there's some interesting things about, you know, trying to figure out how to cheat death. Like, okay, what if I ruin death's design by killing myself? Any takers on that? And of course we have a character who becomes even more so in the first two movies. Like, we have kind of the tried and true characters of the one who doesn't quite believe it, and then kind of causes some conflict for the character, kind of becomes an antagonist in a minimal kind of way. Here I think that character really actually causes a big threat to the rest of the characters. So I thought they did a good job with that. And one thing to note about this movie, which is kind of an ingenious thing at the time, with its home video release, what they did, they actually, during the film, they filmed additional scenes where in bringing it to DVD, they actually presented it as like almost like one of those choose your own adventure types of books, which is interesting. Like, if you think this character should do this, click here. If you think this character should do this, but I just have like it's a trilogy set of the first 3 here, so I don't think it has that. It's pretty bare bones. So I've never seen it. Don't know how innovative it really is, but I thought that was kind of an interesting idea to the movie. But I enjoy it, and I enjoy its sense of humor, with death taunting these kids, and we have kind of the ironic music choices, like when the girls are in the tanning salon, the song that comes on is Roller Coaster of Love, which is kind of what they do. Like in the second movie, it's Highway to Hell. In the first movie, it's John Denver, so they kind of keep to that tradition. And at the very end credits, it's a love train. So yeah, I don't know. They have a good sense of humor. So I think in a lot of ways, this arguably would be the best of the Final Destination movies. It cuts down to the nitty gritty. It embraces the cheesy side, which it is less distracting with all the stupid plot stuff going on, which you don't really care about. You just want to see people die. Let's be honest here. So it might actually be the best one, except for maybe the fourth movie. But I guess we have a lot to talk about later with that one. So that's my review of Final Destination 3. I love it. I think it's great. So thank you very much for watching. Be sure to comment, rate, subscribe, all that good stuff. Visit Dare237.com. Until next time, I'll see you later, and stay scared.